You pay into Social Security for your entire career, so it makes sense that you would want to draw the most money out of the system as possible. For a lot of people, they think that means drawing as soon as possible because, hey, the sooner you start to get checks, the sooner you start to pull money out of the system. That's not always true. I'm going to break down for you today the difference between taking Social Security at 62 versus full retirement age, when it makes sense to take it early, and a couple of things that you need to consider. A couple of ground rules so that we're all on the same page here. You probably already know this, but 62 is the earliest that you can take Social Security. Everyone then has a full retirement age. Right now, full retirement age is age 66 and a half, 66 and 6 months, and it's trending upwards. It'll make its way to age 67. And then you can wait beyond that to take Social Security. You could go all the way to age 70 before you collect a check. The longer you wait, the larger the check. The earlier you take it, the smaller the check, but the sooner you start to receive it. Today, we're going to compare 62 to full retirement age and how the math works. So for our example here, I took someone who was born in 1961, and I did that so that they would be 62 right now. Now that would make their full retirement age 67. So I said, if you got a 62-year-old today as I'm recording the video, if they earned about $80,000 a year and they wanted to take their Social Security check, what would the amounts be? And so I'll pop it up on the screen here. You see, if they take it early as possible, if they take it now at age 62, they're going to receive $1,439 per month. If they wait until full retirement age, which for them would be age 67, they would receive $2,203 per month. It's almost a 35% increase for waiting, but you got to wait those 5 years. That's 5 years of checks you've missed out on if you decided to wait. So I want you to think of this in terms of a cross-country road trip, right? If two cars started in New York City and they were driving to LA and they were going to drive all the way across the United States, and the first one gets to start early, but it only gets to drive 45 miles an hour. Can't go any faster than that. They say, ready, set, go. Off it goes 45 miles an hour on its way to Los Angeles. And then the second car, it doesn't get to start at the same time. It has to wait a while. But at some point, they say, okay, now it's your turn to start. And guess what? You can drive 70 miles an hour. Who's going to get there first? Well, that's kind of what waiting for Social Security is like. You don't get to start at the same time, but once you get started, you receive a larger check. You're driving faster, if you will. And so the question is, will you stick around long enough to draw more money out of the system if you had waited? Where's your Los Angeles? What point do you break even and cross over and pass the guy that's going 45 miles an hour? And so I'm going to put something up on the screen here to show you all about it. So you can see from the graphic that's up there, if you started taking $1,439 a month at age 62 versus waiting to age 67 to draw the money, you can see that you get out early on the 62 check, but it's going to break even. It's going to break even right around age 78. Now, I ran this graphic to age 81. Certainly, folks stick around a lot longer than age 81, but you can see even by age 81, you've drawn about $50,000 more from the system if you waited. Now, you didn't get use of money for the first 5 years because you were waiting to take your check. You hadn't received anything yet. But once you started to receive that larger benefit, $2,203 per month in this case, it took you to age 78 to come out ahead. And every month after that, you were drawing ahead by $750 odd, the difference between the 2203 and 1439 that we talked about as being the lower check amount. Once you hit 78, you're in the black and you're rolling from there. You've passed up that 45 mile an hour car and you're cruising on your way. Hey, if you're having a good time watching the video and you enjoy what you're watching, go ahead and click the button and subscribe to the channel, because if you do, you'll get notified when we put new stuff out. I try to get 1 to 2 things out per week. It's all about retirement, financial planning, taxes, money in the bank, all that sort of stuff. I hope to see you again. Now, I want to give you a couple of things to consider here. I'm going to give you 2 reasons why you might want to take it early at 62, and then I'm going to give you 2 things to think about if you're looking at waiting. And so here we go. The first thing, if you're looking at taking it early, is if you just need the money. If you're unable to work anymore or unable to work in the same way that you have, if your income's going down and you need to be able to supplement your retirement, you might just have to take the check early. That's the single reason why I see people take it early most often, is they simply need the money. The second reason why you might want to take it early is life expectancy. If you just don't have a very long life expectancy, maybe you've had some health problems, maybe there's some family history there, and you say, listen, that's great that I'd break even at 78. I'm not sure I'm going to make it to 78. Now, don't sell yourself short. People are living a lot longer these days. They really are. But if life expectancy isn't on your side and you know that, that can have an impact on your Social Security decision, and that might be a reason for taking it early rather than sticking around and waiting for the larger check. Now, I want to give you a couple of counterpoints to why you might want to stick around and wait and not take the Social Security check. And the first one is healthcare. If you retire at 62 and you start to draw your Social Security then, so you don't have the same amount of earned income, well, you're still going to need healthcare coverage, and that can get really expensive anymore. You got to bridge that gap at least to Medicare in age 65. That's a conversation we have with clients regularly when they're considering going early, is you have to factor that in. And if that's something that you're thinking about, you need to fill in all those variables before you make the decision, because the amount of money you can make and still collect the Social Security check early is very limited. I'll pop up over here the Social Security playlist in a minute here, and you can check out some of our videos on that. But if you do take it early, there's a limit to what you can earn, and if you need to then go out and pay for healthcare coverage, sometimes that can get pretty difficult. The second reason why you might want to wait to take the Social Security check is this. It's maybe your survivor benefit. So if you're married and you have the larger of the two Social Security checks, that benefit is going to pay on to your spouse after you pass away. If you take it early, you're locking in a lower survivor benefit, not just for your lifetime, but for their lifetime. And so if you are married and you're the larger Social Security check, you've got to consider that in making your decision as well. It's not as clean and easy as if you say, this is a decision I'm making only for myself, because ultimately you're making it for the both of you. So there you have it, Social Security at 62 or full retirement age. Now it gets more in depth than that for sure, but this will give you a good idea, some things to think about. While you're thinking about things, go ahead and click that link right up there. It's our Social Security playlist. We got a lot more videos about Social Security. I hope to see you there.